Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to do something different. I want to talk about a problem that my wife and I have had, and it's maybe one that you've encountered too. And it is trying to find a movie to watch at night when we sit in front of the TV, and we wind up with the controller just scrolling through all of the movies, and we wind up not watching anything. So we came up with a scheme we call Swirl the Movies, which is based upon the David Lynch thing that he used to do, where he'd have a jar filled with balls, and he'd say, "What will the number be today?" And he had a number on each one of the balls, and he'd swirl the balls and say, "Today's number is." So we took that idea, and we came up with Swirl the Movies. Now, what we do is we wind up with a thing like this. We got a jar, and inside we put little pieces of paper which have movies written. I'm not going to look at this because there's one of the movies we're going to watch. Anyway, so what we did is each one of us, my wife and I, each picked 15 movies and put them in the jar, and every night we swirl a movie and pick a movie. Now, the movies we pick, we try and make it a variety of things. One of them is sort of comfort movies, movies that we like, and then that we can always watch over and over again, and then new movies we haven't seen, and then movies that we remember as not being terribly good, but we think we should do a revisit and see if they're any good. So that's what we've been doing, and I've got my list right here. I'm going to go through the movies that we've just watched and give you my quick review on them. And maybe it'll give you some ideas. The first one up is Aliens, and of course, what is there to say about Aliens? I mean, it's a great movie. It's a great action picture, and if you like monsters in space, this definitely fills the bill. The next movie up was a movie called The Black Cat, 1934. Starring Bill Lugosi and Boris Karloff. Now, this was the first teaming of Lugosi and Karloff in a film, and it was directed by Edgar G. Ulmer, who went on to direct The Man from Planet X and most notably Detour. In this, Lugosi is on a train and meets a young couple, and Lugosi is going to confront Karloff about some betrayal that happened during World War I. And what has happened is that we found out that Karloff is now in charge of a satanic cult, married Lugosi's wife, convincing her that Lugosi was dead. And we later find out that she's now encased in plastic in the basement and has married Lugosi's daughter. Yes, it gets really wacky. The ending I'm not going to tell you because I don't think I've ever seen this in a movie before or since. You must put this on your must-see list because The Black Cat is a movie I don't think you could get made today because it's so pervy. Number 3 is Black Sunday, which is a Mario Bava picture. I think that's the first one that he directed. Before that, he was a cinematographer. So it's beautifully shot. It's a really cool movie. And if you haven't seen it, it's black and white. Go check it out, The Black Sunday. It's got exotic, beautiful Barbara Steele and some very gruesome scenes. It's a good one. Number 4 is The Cube, which is the original one, which was done in Canada. And this one, it's a tough watch for me because it's really one of those movies. I'm not a big fan of the people trapped in one room thing, and this is really some sort of variation on it. But it's still a good watch. You should give it a watch. Okay, next up, one of my all-time favorite vampire pictures. I would put this right up there with the top vampire movies. House of Dark Shadows. Now, it's based upon the TV series Dark Shadows, which was done in the 1960s and had a really cool cast. The TV series was a soap opera, So I mean, you could literally skip watching it a week and then check in, and you wouldn't have missed much. It moved at like glacier pace. Well, when they made the movie, they like stuck like 5 years of plot in the movie, and it cranks, and it's great. It really is. Look for Catherine Lee Scott, who's luminous. Jonathan Frid plays Barnabas Collins and is a really good vampire. It's got a scene where Jonathan Frid is turned into like an old vampire, and the makeup is done by Dick Smith, legendary Dick Smith, and it's awesome and creepy. I love this movie. The next movie we watched actually was not a horror film. It was the movie Chinatown from 1974, which was Jack Nicholson. And it's considered a masterpiece. We rewatched it. I didn't like it as much as I have over the years, and I'm not sure what that is about. I mean, I don't want to diminish it. Chinatown is a masterpiece, and it's great. Oh, by the way, that guy right there, the guy that Jack Nicholson is talking to, he was like one of the natives in Creature from the Black Lagoon. He's one of the guys who gets killed in the beginning of the movie. Pretty cool. Oh, and then here you've got Roman Polanski, the guy who directed the film, playing this little weaselly guy who cuts Jack Nicholson's nose. It's great. Anyway, worth a watch. Next up, Predator. Well, you've probably seen Predator. The monster's really cool. You got Arnold and a group trapped in a jungle with an alien who's there killing people, and it's a great fun action picture. The Fourth Kind. Some movies you watch, you don't even remember them because they're just not memorable. The Fourth Kind is one of those. I have no recollection. We watched it. I don't know. I don't know even to tell you about it. Okay, well. Anyway, that was one of Cece's picked. She didn't remember it that well either, and it was one of those movies we thought, well, let's give it a shot. So we did, and I still can't remember it. Anyway, okay, next up, The Mummy's Ghost. Now, I'm a great fan of the Mummy movies. I love the Mummy movies. Now, a lot of people don't like it because they go, oh, God, he's like, anybody could outrun the Mummy. It's true. Anyone could outrun the Mummy. But what's scary, and I remember as a little kid, I was terrified of the Mummy. And the reason is because it never stops. You know that even while you're sleeping, it's still coming for you. And I thought that was scary. And I think they've sort of reused that theme in like movies like It Follows. I mean, that's why It Follows is a great movie. In any case, let's see. Let's go on. House of Wax 2000. Now, I guess I was very disappointed that it didn't have a lot of the House of Wax from the original, either House of Wax, the 1950s one, or Mystery of the Wax Museum, which was the original. And both of those films are great, by the way. I would give the edge to the 1930s one just because it's so cool and the lighting is cool. But yeah, the modern House of Wax, okay, I don't want to say too much about that. Mimic, Guillermo del Toro's movies, good movie. It's a good horror romp. Give it a look. Brides of Dracula. Now that's a Hammer movie, and it was a sequel to the Horror of Dracula, which is the U.S. title of Dracula, which was what it was called in the UK. Christopher Lee was in the original, of course, and I don't know if he didn't want to do it or what the reason was, but they got a different guy to play Dracula or the vampire rather, in Brides of Dracula. And the look is sumptuous. It looks great. But the vampire just is not very good. It's too bad because it's got a nice production design. Which reminds me, I want to say something about what is up with the Hammer movies. It's like, and maybe it's just English design. They seem to be obsessed with like wallpaper and patterns. It's like all of their stuff's got a zillion patterns. That would give me a headache if I lived in that environment. I'd rather prefer the old Universal look, the Universal, Gothic castle look. Anyway, I digress. Next up, Waxworks. Well, Waxworks is an anthology directed by Anthony Hickox. I always thought of it as just kind of like an audition tape because he really wanted to direct, Gothic vampire movies and zombie pictures. Oh, there's David Warner. The great David Warner, who I got a chance to work with. Anyway, it's a cheesy movie, but hey, it's got Deborah Foreman getting whipped by the Marquis de Sade. What more could you want? Okay, let's see. Ju-on, The Grudge. Well, The Grudge, I believe, was the second of the modern Japanese horror films to make it to the United States, and it's a great one. When we rewatched it really holds up well. The only thing for me is I'm not a big fan of little kids in movies. I don't think they're particularly scary, but this has got some really scary moments in it, and definitely worth a watch. The Mummy 1932. Well, The Mummy 1932 is a masterpiece, with one exception, and I argue with my friend Robert Parigi about this because he loves the whole movie. I love the whole movie too, except I find the ending kind of like da 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 da, and it's over. It just seems like they didn't know what to do to really have a big climax at the end of the film. And I think when you have a movie like that, because the movie's kind of slow-paced, and you want the ending to get cranked up a little bit, and it never does. But still, Karloff is great as Imhotep, and and the mummy sequences at the beginning are terrific. Reanimator, my friend Stuart Gordon. Stuart Gordon made the Reanimator. Stuart, God bless your heart wherever you are. Stuart has gone on to the great movie studio in the sky. Stuart was really one of the greatest directors of horror to my mind, and what a lovely guy he was. He was a great guy. And weirdly, he had a job at Los Angeles Film School, and they fired him. Do you know why they fired him? Because he didn't have a degree, okay? And they were trying to, I guess, the state's got something that you can't get funding unless one of your teachers all have degrees. That's stupid. In England, if you have life experience, you can teach. What's wrong with California? Come on, get with it. Any case, let's get back to Reanimator. You've stolen the secrets of life and death, and here I find you trysting with a bubble-headed co-ed. You're not even a half-rate scientist. Get a job in a sideshow. Well, the last movie up is Super Deep. Now, Super Deep is a film that we just sort of came across by accident and started watching it, and turned out to really be a fun watch. It's a little like The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. It takes place in some very frozen climate. I don't know if it actually says where it is. But it seems like it's like Siberia or someplace like that. And a military team has been sent to investigate some deaths that have been taking place at the bottom of this hole that they drilled. Now, in real life, they drilled a hole that's so big and was the deepest hole ever drilled into the earth. And of course, in the movie, it's big enough to put an elevator down. And there's some deaths going on down there, and apparently they think it's some kind of disease or something like it, and it's not a disease. Of course, it's a monster, which makes it all the more fun. And it's got some really good scenes in it, and the lead girl in it is really good in it, and it's worth a look. If you get a chance, check out Super Deep. That wraps it up for this time, and we'll check back with you later, and I'll give you more of the Swirl the movies. So if you get a chance, check in, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.